Doot, doot, doot. Sound is on. Transition to the talking screen and say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing, Mama?
I'm doing all right. How are you tonight?
Doing okay. I don't have anything fun or exciting to talk about. For stuff that has happened since yesterday. So unless you do,
No.
that makes it Sudoku time. So move this over here, transition over into the Sudoku screen, and get into our first puzzle for the day. It is Feeling Lucky by Scaly Griffin and Glitch Horse. Standard Sudoku rules apply. The digits 1 through 9 appear once in every row, column, and box. German Whisper. Adjacent digits along lime green German Whisper lines must differ by at least 5. Thermometers. Digits on sage green thermos are strictly increasing from bulb to tip. And gold coins. Cells marked with a gold circle contain odd digits. So these are odd digits. I should have shared the puzzle in chat. There we go. If you'd like to give it a go, it is in the chat. Copy. Alright, and then on this German Whisper line, if I were to say make this a 4, then 4, the next digit has to differ by at least 5. So I couldn't do 5 or 6, those are too close. And I actually can't do 1, 2, or 3. Those are all too close as well. So that would have to be a 9, because 4 plus 5 is 9. If I did a 1, then I could do 6, 7, 8, or 9. And then thermos, I can do 1, 4, 7, 8, something like that. But with that being said, where do we start? I guess probably the
in
easiest
box
place.
5, that spot right there.
All of these, then that, and then that. So all 4 of these have to be either 6, 7, 8, 9, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So where could I put a 4? Because that's the most restricted one. It can't be here, because it sees both of these. However, I can put a 4 anywhere else. So that's not quite helpful. So then we're just gonna hopscotch around. Purple, and then everything else is green. Trying to decide whether or not this box is really interesting. 1 has to be one of those 3, but otherwise, you've got 9 is one of those 4. It's not that useful otherwise. I guess with both of these, you can't have 9 across the middle. Yeah, none of those can be 9. None of these can be 9, which puts 9 here, which means that these have to be
Can't
1,
be
2,
on the
3,
ball.
4. And we said 4 can't be here, and of course 9 can't be on the bulb, like you said. And now, so 9 is one of these two, so green will swap out for blue, purple for red. And since this sees 3 different digits, it has to be an 8 or a 9. If it was a 7, that would only be 1 or 2, and a 6 would only be 1.
Alright, so how did you conclude that the center digit of 8 has to be 9, or has to be high?
This one?
Uh-huh.
Because
Or
the
well,
9 has to be in the middle row here.
right.
So it can't be on any of these 4.
Oh, right. 6, 7, 8, 9. Do. Little lame there.
No worries. Better to ask in case I did something wrong than to just assume I did it right and let it stay incorrect. So at least I would rather double check
Yeah.
that.
Well, and the bulb there in box 8 is a minimum 5.
Yeah. Well, it can't be an 8 because you can't put the 9 here. And again, no 9. The gold coins are all odd. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. One has to be one of these two, since this has to be a high digit. 1 in this box has to be one of these 3, which takes 1 out of all of these, places a 1 and a 9, and a 9 here. This is 7 or 8. One of these is going to have to be a 9 because of the 4 here. Though that's not particularly helpful. Have to have a 9 with these two. Okay. Neither of these can be 1, nor can they be 2, 3, or 4. So they are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 8 and 9 take up these two.
Oh, in row 7, the 9 is kind of restricted.
Yeah, 9 has to be one of these two. In row 7.
Right, because one of those has to be 4, so one of them has to be 9.
Yeah. Where could I put 2 in this box? Well, it can't go here anymore because that had to be 5, 6, or 7. I guess I should be looking at 6, 7, 8. And then 79. These have to be red digits. And there's a 6, 7, 8, 9 quad, which places a 5. So this is my last red digit. 6, 7, 8. And then.
And that's 4 red.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know where 5 goes. Oh. 9 has to be one of these digits. Because of these two. 9's going to be one of those two. So one of those two. I guess for this one, this is maximum 5. Or 3. Well, it can't be a 2. 3. So these two are both
And
blue.
that's the fourth low in row 7.
So then this is 5. Oh, 2, 3, 4. This has to be 1. Oh, and these two have to be blue. And 2 has to be one of these two. These are 1 or 3, because they can't be 4. Is that right?
Which resolves,
Because I have to have a 2 here. These would be 1,
right?
2, 3, but they can't have a 2 because the 2 isn't here. So yeah, those are 1, 3. So this is 2, and 4, and 3. Yeah, and this is just whatever's skipped here.
The German whisper that goes through, yeah, it can't have a 6.
Because these two can't be 1s. Well, this one could be, but specifically these two can't be. So these are minimum 7.
Column 8, none of the German whisper red can be 6.
This can't be a 4 because its neighbors see each other, and then
Right.
2, 3 here forces that to be a 1. Seven, 8 pair makes this a 6. And this can't be a 6 because of its two neighbors, and it can't be a 9 because of this. So that gives us our 7, 8 pair. One and 3 both low. Can't be a 6 because its two neighbors see each other, and this one can't be a 1 anyway. And it can't be a 4 because these two see each other. Can't be a 4, these two. And this one can't be a 6 because that can't be a 1. Oh, this can't be a 6, so I need a 6 over here. So that's 6, so that's not. These two aren't. So, since none of that's a 6, and this isn't a 6, this one is. So this one's 5, and that's a red 7, 8. And now this has to be blue. One, 2, 3, 4. So 3's gone, and then this is 5, 6, 7, 8. That is not the buttons I wanted to press. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Except 7, 8, 9. Is that out? 5 or 6. Oh, but this
Right.
one's 5. That one's 6. Here. One, those 3. It's worth marking. It's not going to give us anything extra. where do we look now? No, those two are the same. I don't know if that's useful. Yeah, I don't say that's useful. Hmm.
6 can be placed in column 8.
Can't be up there, so it must be here. Oh, this is also a red digit, 79. And then there's the rest of those. 3, 4, and 5. This one can't be a 5, so it's blue. Can't have 5s over there. I don't know if 5's helpful anywhere else. 1s. I only need 1 blue left. Everything else is red. Well, I can't put 6 here. It has to be one of these two. 6 is one of those. And then 6 is one of these. Not really helpful.
Well, in box
7, 8,
2,
9. Oh, box 2.
the blue cannot be forced because
Oh, right.
it.
This digit here.
Yeah.
Can't be a 9. And then I see a 7, 8, 9 here, which takes 7, 8, 7, and 9 out from that option. And this can't be a 6, nor can it be 7, 8, or 9. So this is 1, 3, 4, and 5. So then those are all low and 5. So then these are 1 through 6. Well, actually, it's just 4, 5, 6. We have 1, 2, 3 already.
Right.
Now I can still put 4 here because those two still have the ability to be 4. If this is 9, then we get 7 and 8. And then that will be 9. And then we have a 7, 8 pair here. Maybe the other way around is more important. If this one's 9 and that one's 9, Get our 7-8 pair here. No, not helpful at all. Oh, this one can't be a 9 because that can't be a 4 because of that 4. So that's not 9, which means this one has to be. So that's the 4, that one can't be. The 9 isn't here.
But 9 doesn't require 4. 4 requires 9.
Yeah.
I'm the one that usually makes that mistake.
Yeah. Because 9 and 1 are similar, and that they can have any of the opposite side. Alright, do I need to start filling in the rest of these digits? So these can't be 1, 2, 3, and neither can be 6, and the bottom isn't a 9. This isn't 1 or 6, and that's it?
Column 5 has 4 red.
1, 3, 4, and 5. This one is 1 or 5, so that one's blue. None of those can be 6. This one isn't a 5. Is there something else that we can spot? 5 is gone. 6 is gone. That's not a 1. This one's not a 9. 5s are out. 1s and 9s are out. Ones and 9s. 9s and 5s. 6s. 1s, 5s. Okay. Well, there's a lot of stuff that just isn't.
Makes it messy.
Yeah. Three, 4, and 5. 1, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, in box 4, if the one low digit that's left is on the right, then the 2 on the left are both red, which takes all of the red, and there's a 5, which would mean those are both blue. And that didn't mean anything, because that's still 4. Never mind.
Can this be blue? Because if it's blue, then it finishes not only the box, but the row and the column. It would make this a 5, and that 7 or 8. I guess when it comes to these two, this is either 3, 4 or 1, 2. If this is 1, 2, that's a 4, which makes both of those 9s. If this is 3, 4, then this is
okay.
1 or...
Go back to what you were just saying. That would be a
3,
if
4?
that's 1, 3, that has to be a
3,
4.
4.
No, if that's 1, 2. Sorry, if that's
This
1, 2,
3, 4.
and those are both 9.
Yeah.
If the 3 has to one it's gonna have to be an 8, 9 pair in box 1, breaks the 9s
Right.
in the
Okay.
columns.
So that can't be a 4 or well, that started with this being 1, 2. So that forces this to be 3, 4.
Right.
So that's 1, 2. So that's a 3, and we have no 7s. 8, 9 makes this a 7. Not a 3, not a 3, not a 3. So that one's red. 6, 7, 8, 9. Kind of already knew that.
Box 7 now has a 7 in it, so and that's an 8, 9 pair in row 9.
7, 8. Can have 2 or 3 next to it. 7 takes out 3s. That's 2 and 1. 7. Not a 2. Apparently that one's 9. So 8, 9, 8, 9. 3, 2, 4. 4. Not 9. Also not 9. Not a 4. Not an 8. Not 9 over here. 1, 3 is low. This cannot be 2. 1, 3, 4, or 5. So this is a high digit. 7 or 8. 2, 7, 8. This one's not a 7. One, 3, and 5.
5. Oh.
No, that can't be 1, so that is. So now 1 is one of these two. That's not particularly helpful. Well, these two can't be 2, 3, so they're 5, 6, 7, 8, not a 9. So 3 is one of those two.
Well, and in box 5, 2 and 3 have to be on the right side in column 6, which makes 4 blue, 4 low in the column. So in box 2, those are both high, or 5. No, it can't be 5, so because it's already got a
This is
5
the
in the
5.
column.
So we have 4 over here. But it's the other of
6 or
6 or
8
9.
and 4, yeah.
1, 2, 3 going across means this cannot be 1 or 3. That makes it a 5. 3 and 4 is blue. 3, 4 pair makes it 5. These are now both blue. 2,
And
3,
so is
4 makes this a 1.
4, 6 pair in column 7 takes out the 4.
Now we've got 4 blues, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 and 8, 9 means this is red. This can't be 2, 3. It's now red.
That's 4 red in column 6.
So that's a 2, and that's a 3. Ooh, excuse me. 5, 7, 8 here.
Place 2 in row 3.
Here. 2 isn't 1, 2 isn't high, 2 isn't 4 or 6, 2 isn't high, and that 2 takes out down. So that.
And
This is
that's
7
red.
or 8.
7 or 8 pair places the 9. Box 4.
6, 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 2, 8. This red 8, 6, 8, 8, 7, 4, 8, 6, 4, red 6, 7, 9, 7, 4 blue, 5 gray, and a red 9. There we go. I don't know if this is the right puzzle. It is not. I'm sure I put all of that in the previous one. Actually, before I do that, let me double check. Fives. And then Monday Sudoku puzzles 14th. And I did put in the description, the things I was supposed to put in the description, so I don't need to keep the description from before. Let's see. Alright, then I have nothing else for this puzzle, so puzzle number 2 for today is going to be Dune, the Mentats Diversion. I should probably read the Dune books. Do I have those on my library list? I'll check my library list later. So Dune, the Mentats Diversion.
Sure, I still have mine.
Okay. Then I would need to get it from the library. Well, the
I
library.
imagine I would have gotten rid of them, so.
Yeah. Although the library is probably a bit more convenient for me than driving out there, but we meet up regularly enough. It wouldn't be an issue. Either way, don't need to figure out the logistics of that at the moment. So we are on Dune, the Mentats Diversion by Half-Baked Lunatic. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits cannot repeat in cages, which sum to the total shown. Digits along a sappho juice-colored thermometer must increase from the bulb end. Digits in cells separated by a black dot must be in a 2-to-1 ratio. Okay. So again, 1, 3, 7, and 8. And yeah, I did deliberately make all of those numbers different than what I pressed because, except for the one, because it's funny. But the numbers have to increase. If I put, say, a 3 here, then the other side would be double, so that would be 6. And then, if I put a 4 here, I can't put a 4 over there again. And it has to sum up to 30. Aside from that, puzzle name, colon, and a link in chat if you'd like to give it a go yourself. So,
Well, looking at box 9, a 19 cage leaves 26 on the outside. So in the Kropke dot, 1, 2 wouldn't work. 2, 4 wouldn't work.
So it's either 3, 6 or 4, 8.
Yeah. And 3, 6 is 9. And what did I say, 26?
Yeah.
So that would be 17. 4, 8 is 12. 14 would be 5, 9.
So that's a 9 either way. 5, 8, 9, you said?
Yeah, it's either 13 or 17.
Well, 13 would be 4, 9.
Oh, a minute. What did I say?
4
All
and 8
right.
is
3 and 6.
12.
Right.
And then I would
Needs
need 14 left over.
14. It was just 5, 9. Okay.
Yeah.
I just misspoke. And 9 would have to be on the tip.
Yeah. This 25 must have a 9 in it. Same with this 25 must have a 9 in it, because you can't put 9 on these parts. The bulb or early in the thermometer. This 19 cannot have a 9 in it. It also cannot have an 8, because either this is 3, 6, and 8, or it's 4, 8, and 5. Either way, there's an 8, so no 8s.
Yeah.
So it must have 1, and
Well, it has to have a 7 in it.
it's going to have a 2 and a 7. So we weren't able to put a 2 out here, and same with 7. 4, 8, and 5 would have to be 3, 6.
Mm-hmm.
But if I did 3, 6, and 8, yeah, that would be 4 or 5 left over. Okay. So that's that.
All right. Well, in box 7, 30 leaves 15 left over.
Yeah. And this is minimum 3 and 4,
would be 1, 2.
so 7.
Yeah.
So this is maximum 8.
Yeah. So it can't be 3, 6. It can't be 4, 8. 1, 2, 4.
So it's either 3, leaving 12, or it's 6, leaving 9. Three, 6, 5, and 4. That would be 9. And then if I went 12, I can do 3, 9. Except I can't do 3, 9. I can do 4, 8. I could do 5, 7. And that would be it. 30 can't have a 2 in it. It's going to have a 9 in it. I don't know if this is restrictive enough to be...
Yeah.
Because there are...
We only know it has to have a 2.
Yeah. But this is maximum 4, and so this is 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4.
Well, 25 leaves 20 there in box 4.
And this is maximum 7.
Right. So 13
is the maximum? No, minimum.
Yeah.
So, since
And
this
it
is
can't be
maximum
5,
7,
8. It's
going
going to
to
be
be
6,
7.
7, 8, 9.
Except I can't put 8 or 9. Except on the top part. That's where I wanted to go. The 8, 9 would have to go here.
Yeah.
5, 7 to make 12 with, oops, or 1, 2.
Okay,
5,
so
7. So we end up with 3 here, so it can't go there. Well, this is an 8.
a 9
So,
can't go in the vertical in column 3, so it's a 3, 9 pair. And 4, 6, 8.
6, and 8.
Well, now we have 1, 2, 3. row 7. We're left with 1, 2, 3, and 4 or 6.
Uh, 1,
Well,
2,
that
3, 4,
19 doesn't
6.
have. Well, the
6,
19 cage doesn't have 3 or 6 in it. Box 9.
6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7.
Can't have 1, 2 in the bottom.
6 from over here takes out. 1, 2, 3 would be 1, 2, 4, and 6, except the 4 that's 2 steps over. Does this have to be 6, 7, and 3, 4? It has to be 20. But I think since this is maximum 13, this is minimum 7. But you can do 7 with the 1, 6. But it could also be larger.
Yeah,
I
4,
can't
5
put
is
an
the
8 on
maximum
here
those can
either.
be.
So 8 has to go in here as well.
Yeah, in box 6, the top one, 9 is the maximum that can be.
Nine is the maximum that what can be? This one, these two?
Yeah, 4, 5. So 4, 5, 6, 7, because there's an 8, 9 in row
Oh, right.
3.
7, 6, 5, 4.
So 9, 11 is the minimum. But there's a lot that could be.
Yeah. Apparently, a 1 is required inside of the 25 if I have both 8 and 9. So that takes out 1s from these.
Box 4, the 8 has to be on the left because there's 8 has to be in, yeah.
It's either 2, 5 or 3, 4 is the remainder. Oh, I can't put a 7 or a 6 in here. So 7, 6.
So 13 leaves 7.
Yeah. Which is either 2, 5
2,
or
5
3,
or
4.
3, 4. Yeah. In box 1, the 6 is in column 2. So it's either on the Kropke dot or it's in the 27.
This could not be 3, 4. And the reason for that is this 6, 7 and this 6, 7 put 6, 7 in here. If this was, and this 3, 4, if this was also 3, 4, would require we put 4 digits across here. So this is required to be 2, 5, 6, and 7. 7, 7, 2, 3, 6, 5.
Right. Okay, if the Kropke dot in column 4, since there can't be a 3 or 6 in the top, yeah.
Six, 7, 8, 9. So this is 1 through 5. 2, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. Wrong way.
Well, yeah. Well, and that 1, 2, 3 in box 2, the 3 can't cross to a 6 because there's a 6 in row 4.
So this is 1, 2, or 4. And since it sees
It
1 and
can't be
2,
1 or
this
2.
has to be 4, 2. 2, 3, 4, 9. 2, 3, 5, 9, 6, 4, 2.
And now the 25 has to have a 4 in it in box 5. Oh, we've already got that marked.
It marks it automatically.
Right, it marks itself.
Yeah. It's like this one, because of the 1, 2, gets removed.
But it
now.
can't have both 8 and 9.
Right. So that removes this option.
All right, row 4 is left with 3, 8, and 9.
Nine, 1, 3, 4, 6, and 8. 5 and 7. Or 7's a requirement because it can't be this 2, 5.
Right.
This is a multiple of 3. The whole box is a multiple of 3. So if I take that out, I don't know if that's helpful. Because 13's not a multiple of 3. It's prime. And also this sticks out.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it has to
look
be
at
1, 2, 4,
look
8.
at the rows 1 and 2.
2. Rows 1 and 2.
Right, because 27 is a multiple of 3.
Yeah.
30 is a multiple of 3. Both Kropkes are a multiple of 3.
So then these 4 collectively are a multiple of 3.
Yeah, but I don't know that that's actually helpful.
Do learn that this has to have a 9 in it, because you can't put the 9 in any of those positions.
Yeah.
It can't have both 6 and 7, because if it had both 6 and 7, only one of them could be on the cell that's outside. This one cannot have both 8 and 9.
Wait a minute, go back over to the 30 cage in box. The Kropke dot cannot be 4, 8 because there has to be an 8 in that 30 cage.
Right.
And it's either in the box or it's outside, so, and it sees it.
So then this can't be 4 anymore, it must be a 2. So now this can't have a 2. And
Okay,
it has to
look at
have one of 6 or 7, so this is a 6, 7. That's not a 2. Look where?
the 27 cage, is there anything we could do with that with the... No, because it doesn't have to have a 6 in it. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. 2's gone, so 1's gone. 8's gone. 4 doesn't
Well,
have
and
anything it can connect to, so it has to be a 3, 6 like this. So 7's here. And so we get 1, 5, 8, 9.
okay, and then on the other one, the 27 cage, it cannot contain a 3 or a 6. Okay. Yeah, it can't contain a 6. So
So
2,
2,
4, 5,
4, and
7.
9. Well, it has to have the
Yeah.
9, and that's there. 2, 4 is going to be a 1, 2, 4. 9, 2, 9, 5, 8. 168 makes this a 3. I guess 168 there's the same deal. 25 has to have 7 and 9 in this order. That's 5, 8, 5, 1, 8.
1
need
and
a 1.
6. Columns would be easier.
So let's do columns
4
4.
and 7.
Let's do column 6 first. 6, 8,
Well,
and something
yeah.
else.
Well, I was going to say now it's the rows that are easier.
8, 6. Oh, there's a 5. There's the 5. What am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
9.
6, 9. 6, 8, 9, 1, 8, 1, 6, and then 5 and 8. Yeah, did it. Man. Copy. Paste. Column 6. Right, and average-ish.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I didn't think
average.
it was really hard.
Yeah. It definitely requires some.
Or maybe I was just actually seeing things. We are just seeing things.
Yeah. It was definitely pretty straightforward. I honestly don't even know whether or not average is right here. I don't know how much of it was using the tools that we get. But I mean, for the most part, if somebody comes across this, they're gonna solve it on Sudoku Pad. So, apparently it's a different link, but yeah, I might almost even go with easy. Like, I don't remember anything in particular being difficult. There was no point
No.
where I'm like, let's just fill everything in just to see, which we had on the last puzzle.
Right.
Not that necessarily even means that it's difficult, just that it's or more complex, just that it was more difficult, or that we struggled with spotting where we were supposed to look. I'm gonna go with easy, which is maybe the second puzzle where I've actually rated lower than what most other people are rating it. But yeah, all right, that's my decision there. All right, puzzle number 3 for today: In Between Snack by Odd van de Wettering. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits along each line have values which lie between those of the digits in the circles at either end of that line. Moreover, for the 3 brown lines, the digit in one of the circles is the sum of the remaining digits, including the digit in the other circle. Okay, so it's like an arrow, but we don't know which side it is. Digits along each line have values which lie between those of the digits in the circles at either end of that line. And the 3 brown ones are also have that arrow rule, if I'm understanding correctly. Does that seem correct? Let's click Start Puzzle. So like this says 7. So clearly I can't put a 9 here to make these both 8. So these two these have to sum to 7. So this would have to be 1, 2, 4. And since neither of those is a 2, that is. And since if I put the 4 here, I wouldn't be able to put a 1, that's 4 and 1. There's a lot of crisscrossing.
Yes, there is. Well, that starts in box 2 and goes through the 2.
Yeah.
The other one?
Oh, this
Or
one?
the other direction? Yes. One end is gonna have to be a 1, and it can't be the one at in box 2, so it's gonna have to be, yeah.
And then this could be 2, 3, so this is minimum 4. And this could be 2, 3, but it could also be 2, 3 here. So this is still just minimum 4. Now, 3 cells cannot sum to 4, but this could be the smaller digit. Although, if it was the smaller digit, this would have to be 5 and 6, and that would be 11. So this must be the larger digit.
Right,
so
and
be
plus
5.
the 7 for the other end of that circle sees up to a 7.
Right. 6, 5, 6, 5. So this is maximum 4. Although we just showed over here that you couldn't use a 4 as a minimum, because that would be 5, 6. 3 would be 4, 5, but also include the 3, so you can't do a 3.
Right.
2, 3, 4 is 9. 2, 3, 4. I mean, I could do 1, 2, 5, and I could even do 1, 2, 6. So, yeah, that's not even restricted. But these two are going to have to be the same as these two. Except 2, 4, and 2. Because I could make this a 1.
Well, the end that's in box 2 is the minimum 3.
Right. And because it's minimum 3, I couldn't make the smaller digit 3, because then it would be 4, 5, because then that would be 12. So then this must be the larger side, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then a 1, 2. And since I have to have a 3 on here, or more accurately, I can't have a 2 on here. The 6 isn't a possibility. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Well, 3, 4 is 7, which would be the minimum.
Right. Plus 1 makes 8. I should have known that. Since it couldn't be 6, it could also be 7, which requires a 2 as well.
Well, and 3, 6 is already 9, so you can't have 6 on there. 3, 5 is 8. And 1 is 9. Okay.
Yeah. 3, 4, and 1 makes 8. If this was a 2, it could be 3, 4, and 9. Yeah,
right.
So this is still possibly a 2. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not 2, not 4, not 2.
Okay, the circle, row 2, column 1.
Row 2, column 1. This one.
Yeah, that diagonal. Since there's a 2 on that diagonal, there has to be a 1, and it can't be in the first circle. It's got to be in the bottom.
So this is 2, which means these have to be 3, 4 to make 9. So that's going to be, well, this one we still have a sum possibility. But, where else can I put 2's? It's none of these. I could repeat a 2 here. Also have to have 2 up there, but that's not going to be that restricted. How about 1's? In this box, 1's aren't there. They can't be on a line. Not there, not there. And not on a line. It's less helpful. On the line, not there, not there. Nines are similar, but they're not as restricted as ones. This is 5, 6, 8, or 9, because this is minimum 3. So this could not be a 3. And then it sees 4, so minimum is 5. Can't be a 7 because it sees 7, and then it can go all the way up to 9. This could be a 3 because I could repeat 4. This is most likely 1.
Well, if it's 1, then just highlight where the other ones have to be. Okay. And nothing breaks. Okay.
And if it's not 1, so neither of these two can be 1. Because if this is 1, did I do that right?
Maybe. We'll
Well,
just put...
in the row, it had to be one of these two.
Right.
So it's either this one and that one, or it's this one. And then since this goes there, 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 it sees this one either way.
Yeah.
And then extending from that, then green goes there. So yeah, so these two aren't ones. I don't know if that helps color-wise, but I kind of hope this is a 2 or this is an 8, because the 3, 4 will accept. This couldn't
Those
be 3,
can't
4.
be 3, 4 because that would put 3, 4 in one spot.
So it has to be 3, 5, which is 8, plus 1 is 9. Alright, glad I considered that. It would have taken a long time to come back to
But
that.
that does place the 3 in box 6.
Right.
Now, do we have enough 2s to do something similar with the 1s? Probably not.
Especially because it doesn't get restricted from the lines.
Right. Yeah. Okay, the upper circle in box 1.
Upper circle, box 1.
Yeah. The smallest that could be is a 3. And if that's the low one, it has to be 3.
Yeah.
But if at the other end,
The lowest it could be is 2, 3,
is 2.
4.
But it could go up
3,
to
4,
all of it.
3, 4. So this could still be a 5 is the largest.
Okay, yeah, that really didn't help.
We can't have 8s on this diagonal because neither of these can be 9.
Oh, that's true.
I guess we could consider 9s. So we don't have 9s in this box, this row, box, column. Oh, well, that just suddenly put a 9 there. So that's not a 9. So 9's one of these two. And then in this box, can't be on the line, not there. And then this box, neither of those, so it must be there. So the 9 is one of these two. And then one of those 4. And then one of those 2. Oh, but this one means it can't be those. Oh, but then these are going to make there a 9. But then the 9s over here don't interact with the 9s over here. But I'll leave the 9s as they are.
And no more 9s can go on circles.
Yeah. So that, then, how about 8s? Because now 8s are permanently restricted from the lines.
Well, unless it has a 9 as the
Right.
endpoint. Which there are a couple of those. There are 2 9 endpoints.
Can't go on this one, no. On this one. So this one has a 9.
Okay.
And then it can't go on either of
box,
these two because of other lines.
right. I was looking at the diagonal that comes down to the left. Yeah, that one.
So, despite the fact that this line and this line have 9s as endpoints, the other lines, the only one
Right.
that they cross would be here, this 2.
Right.
But these 3 cross through other lines, which cannot have 9s on the circles. So that doesn't work, that doesn't work, and that one doesn't work. And the same is
So
true
yeah,
for these
8s
3.
are not really restricted at all.
Yeah, unfortunately not as restricted as I would have liked. Because 2s are going to be similarly restricted. Because if I do, so like where all can I put a 2? Take it out of those. And then clearly not there, not there. Not in this column. Not in that column. Not in this box, column, or row. And then it can't be those 2. And then you can't put a 2 here because it wouldn't fit. You could put a 2 here because it's got a 1 and a 9 on both ends. But then it couldn't go here because that can't be a 1 and that can't be a 1. So neither of these can be 2. This has a 1 on this side, but this one and that one remove the possibility of those being 2. And 2, of course, is not 1 or 7. And then here, got 1 and 9 and a 1. So you could put another 2 there. So 2 on lines is only one of those.
Look
Somehow,
at box 5. Yeah.
So because this can't be a 2 because of these two can't have 1s, then this is the 2 because 2 isn't 9, and then it can't go in here because of the other 2s. So then that's not 2. 2 has to be one of these apparently. So it can't be 1 or 9. This 2 takes it out there, that takes those out, and then this one can't be a 2 because of these 2 circles.
Right.
So yes, 2 is one of those 2, and one of those 2. Less helpful over on this side.
Right, I saw something as in box 6,
Box 6.
the one circle coming down, 2, 4 is going to be the minimum that can be on inbox there. So,
And since we know that this one's the smallest, 4 is in the middle.
yeah.
This one has to be 6, 7, or 8, which is definitely larger than this one, so this one's the smaller one. 1 or 2? Well, it can't be 1 or 2. It sees them both. And since this has to be the smaller of this one, because this one's larger than that, this is at least a 3. So this cannot be a 3, so it's 5.
So now that circle in box 7 is 3 or 4.
This having a 3 on it means this is 2, or this is 2. This cannot be a 3. So minimum 4. So that can't be a 4. And then these two had to be 3, 4 at minimum. So 4 wasn't allowed anyway. But what I could do is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, 5, and 3 out of those. 5, 6, 7, 4. Through 8. 3 in neither. Not 4, not 7. This is 5. But this one, the smaller is 3 or 4. So you can't put 2 or 3 here. You can't put 2 there. So this has to be at least 4, going all the way up to 7. So this can't be an 8. This one is 2 through 7. Can't be 2 or 3.
Yeah,
This
that
is
one I was just
minimum.
looking at. Look at the endpoints for that diagonal that you're just. There's a 3 and a 4 on there.
Yeah.
So
So the
the top
smallest
one,
has.
the top one can't be a 2. So
Oh, it's
the
already
bottom
selected.
one, the bottom of the diagonal has to be the low digit, so it's a
Oh,
2.
right. Yeah, because I can't put a 3 here.
I wasn't explaining well.
Yeah.
And that affects row 8 at the other end. Okay, so now that's the high digit because there's a 3 on that line.
Right. So I have to go below 3. So that gives me a 2. So now 2 has to be one of these two. It can't be there, so that's 2. So that's 2. That's all of my 2s? It is. This can't be 1, 9, 2, 3, or 4. It's minimum 5. So
So
this can't be 5. 1, 2, 5, 9. It can't be an 8. 3, 4, 6, or 7. This one can't be an 8 because of the maximum 8 over here.
right.
And I think I'm done with colors on this diagonal.
Box 6, the one diagonal coming down. The other in there's one in box 6, it's minimum 5.
So this
So
can't
that
be
takes
a 5.
yeah, it's got to be higher then.
I guess the same is true on this diagonal as well.
All right, do we have enough 3s to mess with? I don't think so. I see 3.
There. There. Apparently, I can't put 3 in any of here. Because this is the smaller and minimum 3, you can't go there. And then actually, this one sees a 3, so that's why that can't be a 3. And then this has to be the larger, so that can't be 3. So 3's there, but that's not 3. But otherwise, I'm not seeing anything cool with 3's. Yeah. 5 or 6. Why can't this be a 7? Because it sees a 7. 4, 6, 7, and 8. Or that's not a 7. That's not a 4. 6, 7, 8, and 4? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These two aren't 4, 9. feel like I'm mostly just cluttering red.
Well, in box 9, the 5 has to be on the right hand in column 9 because it can't be in column 8 or 7.
Right.
That's fun.
What's going on?
Whatever that noise was. I'm thinking it was coming from your end.
I'm not sure what the noise was.
Oh, okay.
Could you describe it?
It was sort of robot-y.
It could have been just Discord being weird.
Oh, it
I'm
could
not
be that,
sure.
yeah.
I think I'm just moving grid at this point. Okay. This one right here. If I made this, so this is only attached to this line. If I made this a 6, you have 3 or 4 here, 3, 4, 5, 4 or 5, and 5. And you get 6. You get 6 there. 6 would be one of those two. Maybe I should look more restrictive. This diagonal has a 5 as a possibility. If it was a
It can't
5,
be 5.
yep. So those would be a pair of 4s, which is not possible. But this one could be a 5, because that would be a 3 and a 4. Well, if I look at this row, 5 has to be one of these, so everything else can't be 5.
That's my headphones for some reason. Although I've not had this issue before.
Oh, it's probably on my side. Let me look at my audio. Yeah, this is probably what's going on. Actually, I'm not even sure why it's doing this. Oh. Now it just suddenly fixed itself. I didn't change these dots at all. It's something with my audio system.
Okay.
Alright. Just, let me know if it happens again. Because I'm not hearing a difference on my side. Because I can hear the background sound. If it's an AC unit.
The 8 in box 5, the 8s are in column 6.
Box 5, 8s.
The possibility for 8 is so in box. Yeah.
And Torak said 4, 5, 6, 7 in row 5, and 8s in box 6. Well, let's do the 8s, because the 8s in box 6, along with the 8s in box 5, take out 8s here.
Oh, well, so where then is 8 in column
box
2?
6, do we have 8 for sure? There is only one 8 in column 2 now, which is going to give us a ton of stuff. So this is a 6. This 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 4, 5, and then 4, 5, 6, 7. Gives us our 8, 9 pair. 8's in box 6. Just goes there and there. It is going to take an 8 out of this one. I don't see how else 8s do stuff. But I can tell at least. This 8 isn't going to do much. I can still put a 5 here. Taking the 8 from row 8, column 8 seems useful since it only leaves 2 options. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Row 8, column 8.
Column 8.
Okay, yeah. It is nice to only have 2 options. When that can be limited down. If this was a 6, we'd have 4 and 5. 4 and 5. And 6, 3. 4, 5, 4. 6, 7. 4 would be a 3. 7 in column 2. That will solve what you're looking at. Where is 7 in column 2? Well, it's not there, because 7 isn't 8, 1, or 2. This 7 takes it out of here, and then neither of those is 7. And now, this makes the higher digit in this diagonal an 8.
And the other diagonal as well. It's
from these places, 7's from there. This is now 9, 8, 3, 5, 7, 9, 6 here, 4 there. That's not buttons I'm wanting. Bump microphone. 5. Let's just get rid of the superscripts because that's now completely irrelevant. 4, 6, 8, and 7, 9, 8. That's 5, 6 pair. 7, 7, 9, 4, 3. 3, 5, 6 places 3. 4, 5, 6 places 7. 7, 3. 6 apparently. 6, 8, that's 3, that's 8, that's not an 8. 4. 5, 7, 9, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 4, 8, 7, 6, 8, 4, 6, and 5. And there we go. It's always difficult to figure out where we're supposed to look. And so, if you just don't end up on, like, the right line, it certainly did solve a bit more than just what we were looking at. It finished the rest of the whole puzzle. But yeah, it is difficult to figure out where exactly you're supposed to look. Because sometimes, like, puzzles will sort of, like, based off of how they're constructed, will sort of direct you on how to go through it. Sort of the extreme cases is the Fog of War Sudoku puzzles, because those are very definitely controlling where you're what you can see in the puzzle.
Yeah,
But
like
other
Fog of War.
puzzles, other puzzles are a lot less directed in what you can look at. And I don't necessarily think that adds to the complexity, just the time it takes to solve, because it's just about finding what to look for. And I mean, obviously, if the technique that you need to use is like an X-wing or a Y-wing or something more complicated than those, then like those techniques are more complex and so therefore are harder. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that just because you're searching for something means that the puzzle's harder. At least from my perspective. I'm pretty sure Oddwanderwettering doesn't post on Logic Masters Germany, but just for completion. Right. Do we have time for one more puzzle?
Perhaps.
Yeah, we've got 15 minutes. I don't know. Let's just go for it and see how far we get. Dark Magic by Geese Mania. Draw 9 non-overlapping 3x3 boxes and fill them with the digits 1 through 9 such that no digit repeats in a row, column, or box. Cells outside these 9 boxes should be left empty. Any 3x3 box that is not in the corner of the grid must also be a magic square, i.e. each 3-cell row, column, and main diagonal of that box must sum to the same total. Black dots separate digits whose ratio is written on the dot. White dots separate consecutive digits. A clue outside the grid gives the sum of the digits along the indicated diagonal. Digits along a thermometer increase from the bulb end, and digits cannot repeat on the blue diagonal. All clues inside the grid must fully fit inside the 3x3 boxes, except the blue line. What do you mean, except the blue line? There's so many rules. Say again?
The entire grid.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, like, this, well, maybe more so these, and like this, and that, and that, and that. Must be within the 3x3 boxes, aside from this line.
Right.
Well, if
Seven by
this has to fully fit, then you're a little quiet, Mama. Then this must be 1.
Oh. Yeah, I bumped my thingamabobber.
The
Yeah.
microphone.
Yes, that thing.
Trying to remember all of the words in the English language is so difficult. I can't imagine, like, people who speak more than one language, the pain that it is to forget words in the language you normally speak. Yeah. This 5 is going to require that the box goes around it. The reason for that is the requirement that any 3x3 box that is not in the corner of the grid must also be a magic square. And so now we ask the question, where can I place 9s? Well, a 9 has to go on a side and not in a corner, because if a 9 went on a corner, let's say I placed a 9 here, then on the opposite of the 5 would be a 1. Well, hold on. First things first. Why do I know that the box has to go around this 5? So magic square, the 3 rows all sum to the same thing. The 3 columns sum to the same thing, and the 2 main diagonals. 1 through 9 sum to 45. And since there are 3 rows that all sum to the same thing, that will cover the whole 1 through 9. 45 divided by 3 is 15. So my 3 rows each are 15, my 3 columns are each 15, and my 2 diagonals are each 15. 15, including the middle square, must have the 2 diagonals, which is 1, and the row and column that go through the middle as well. So there are 4 ways to make 15. If I think about the middle digit, it's going to have to be a 5, because if it was a 4, I would have to make 11 in 4 different ways without using a 4. If I were to try and make the middle digit a 6, I would have to make 9 in 4 different ways without a 6, neither of which is possible. And you couldn't make it smaller or larger. That would minimize the number of options that we would have as well. So 5 has to be the center digit. On top of that, where does a 9 go? If I put a 9 in a corner, I put a 1 on the other side. Well, now I need, so that gives me 15, because I need 6 on top of the 9. So that's 2, 4 on this side, and a pair of 3s over here, but that's not a valid Sudoku. So, 1s and 9s go like this, and on the opposite side of the 9 is going to be 2, 4. On the opposite side of the 2 and the 4 is going to be your 6 and 8, and then 3 and 7 will go with the 1s and 9s. These 2 are consecutive. I don't know what that means for me yet. It's going to have to be 1, 2. I guess it could be
8,
2,
9 is out. 7, 8 is out because that's already 15.
Oh, that's true. 8, and 7 and 9. And then 1 and 3
6
don't
and
touch
7
6.
is 13. 6 and 7 is 13. So it would still sort of work.
Right.
But the 9 does not.
And neither does 8. So it would be 1, 2. Well, you can't
1,
do
2
1,
doesn't
2.
work.
So 1's not
So
allowed.
1,
2,
yeah,
3 isn't going to work
does
either.
not work.
So you can have 3, 4, which is 7, add 8. You can't do 4, 5, so then it would have to be 6, 7, and 2. Which we already know the 4, 6 are on opposite sides of each other, so that once I knew that was 4, 6, I should have just immediately had that.
Right. Well, and 3, 7 for the row, or for the center row,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, what about those black cropky dots?
They do have weird sums.
Right. Well, it's a 1 to 4 ratio for the bottom and a 1 to 3 for the top.
So I could do 1, 3, 12. Well, that's not going to work. 1, 4, 12 again. So
You have to have the small digit in the middle.
yeah, that would be 3, 4.
A 2 in the middle would be 6 and 8.
And then
But you
3
can't
would be
put
12.
another 6 on the blue diagonal because there's 4 6 already.
So that's a 3 and a 1 and an 8. No, 4. You'd think I would know how to multiply by 1. I was a math tutor. Now, that's not the pattern for a magic square. So, we
That
know that
has to go
this
to the
4
corner.
is in it. Yeah.
Well, and that thermo is completely in a 3 by 3.
Yeah.
But we don't know if it
So,
goes to the right or the left.
well, it cannot be here. Because if it was, it would have to be a magic square, and it would conflict with this
Oh,
one.
right. Right.
So, it's going to have to be here.
And it has to be a magic square.
So you have 5 again. We're going to have 1 and 9. And then 3, 7. 2, 4, 6. Wait, hold on. 2, 4 is around 9. 6, 8 here. If this is a 2, then that would be a 6. 2 and 6 is 8, so I would need a 7. But that's not going to work. This can't be a 2 anyway. It's a 4, that's a 3, that's a 2, that's a 7. That's 9, so I need 6 more and an 8. Or I could have just done that side, that would have made more sense. So now, where can I not put centers? And of course, you can never put a center around the edge of the grid. And that can't be a center, that can't be a center, that can't be a center. No centers there. And can't put a center in those positions or those positions here.
Well, the upper left corner is already, we know where it is, so we know where the center is.
True. If I put a center here or here, then that would look like this. I would not be able to grab this one at
Right.
all anymore. Or if I did that here. So neither of those can be centers. Because this has to be completely in it. So I could grab here, 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 or I could grab this bottom corner. Somehow this didn't get fixed. That's what are these 5? 4, 5, 6, 3 are gone. 1, 7, 1, 8. And can't put 8, 9 there. You can't put 1, 9 or 8. So this can't be a 7. And then you can't put 1, 2 or 9.
9.
8 or 9. Is that right? 1, 2, 7, 8. And then 9, 8, 7, 2. Yep. Because 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all taken up. And now, for this one, I couldn't put the center in one of those, but those was already marked. So it's going to have to be a center here, or a center here. If the center went here, that's an 8. If the center went there, that's a 9. Except, if I did the center here, to grab this,
Right.
I would have
That
to
would
do
put
a 9 and a 1, and then the 1, 9 would break.
So that doesn't work.
So then it has to be drawn like this. So none of those can be centers, and that can't be
So that's an 8 in the corner.
8, 2, 7, 2, 1. 2, 7, 2, 9, 8. 9 has to be paired with 2. 9 pairs with 2. And then 6 on the opposite side, a 1, and then 7 and 3. There we go, first try. If I put a 9 here, the 4 will break with this. Okay, I've already got 2 in my diagonal with the 6. I need 1, 2, 3, 4 more things. 3 by 3 boxes. So it's likely I need to look at this harder. Let me fill this out quick. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. And do I need to keep the red?
It might help visualize for the last, or it doesn't have to stay red.
I'm gonna make it gray. Just because the red's a little difficult to see.
Yeah.
5, 7, 6. Okay. What can these be? 3, 5, 7, 1, 8. And 4, 9, 2, 3. 3, what? 4, 9, 2, 3. It can't be a 7. So if this was even, 2, 4, 6, I would have 1 or 5, which connects to 2, 4, or 6. If this one's even, 6 or 8. The only odd is a 9, so this can't be a 6. I think the 6 is the more valuable clue here, because I can't think of a way that this works. It's going to have to do something with the 22. So the 6 over here, I need 4 more. Which is it possible that these sum to 4? Yeah, 1, 3. Torax says the white dot does do something. Consider whether it's in a magic square. Well, I already have one that's in a magic square, and it had to be 3, 4, or 6, 7. But I don't have 3, 4, 6, or 7 on the top one. White. Well, I knew you meant this one. I just referred back to this one because I had it in a magic square. And then this top cell of this one does not have 3, 7, 4, or 6. So if this was in a magic square, it would have to be 3, 7, 4, or 6, unless I had the 5, but the 6 has to go on the corners. So this could not be a 5 and a 4 or a 6. So that's not a center. And then along with that, I couldn't do 3, 4, or 6, 7 along the side of 1. So that should prove that this is my last row 3 by 3 box. Right? Okay. So then that's not in. So what do I get? Well, it would be 2, 4, 6, and 9. Or that's not a 2. Because I have 2, 4, 6, and 9. So where 9 and 4 have to be here. That's fine. These are going to be 2, 5, 7, and
3.
3. 2 and 7. And then I have 1, 5, 8, 6, 7. Or 1's not an option. 1, 5, 8, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay. That doesn't really add much. So I should really think about what's going on up here. If I were to put a box in this corner, then the other box would go, well, I can't put a box here, or a center, in any of these positions. Because if I did, that would be a 5. It would be 15 along the diagonal.
Right.
So if I put a box here, then I would have to put a box here or here, I think. Okay, one thing I should consider is what's going on with this row. I can't put a center, in any of these cells because it'll overlap. The boxes have to be non-overlapping. Same with this row, except for this cell right here. I cannot put a box in any of those. So this square, if I made this a 3 by 3, I could still put a 3 by 3 here. If I did make this the 3 by 3 center, then I would still have to use one of these two. So I have 5s. Looking like this. What do I need to do?
Well, that 6 little killer.
I need 4 more. But it could be a 1-3. So I'm allowed to do a box like this.
Right.
Otherwise, it would go like that. I guess what I should be asking is, can I put it on this diagonal? Because it can't go there. So, could I put a center here? That would give me 15.
And you need 7 more.
1 and 3 is 4. 2 and 3 is 5. 5 and 4 is 9. So that couldn't be a center. Right?
Correct.
So, I can overlap 2 cells. What's the maximum that I have? 16. Well, the maximum's way over 22. Could I get 22? In 4 cells? With a couple of digits that might repeat? 16 and 5 is 21. But I couldn't put 1 in a corner. But I was asking the question, could I get 22? Well, actually, hold on.
You have to use...
yeah, I can't avoid. Yeah, like even if I put one of these over here, I can't avoid these 4. And so it's going to have to be 2 at least. Because I have to use one of these 4. Could I use 4 of them? This is minimum 9. 9 and an extra, well, that would be 4.
Well,
let's make this one
oh no, that would work.
7. So this
One
would
and
be
three.
1 and 7 is 8 and 9 is 16. 16 and how much more?
6.
And pretty sure I can do 2 and 4. So I can still do this. That's really annoying. Okay. Perhaps I should be looking over here, because however I put my 5 in one of these positions, the vertical direction is going to have to be 1, 9. Because if I do this, I cannot put a 3, 7 here. Same if I do there. So it's going to be 1, 9 vertically. And 3, 7 horizontally. Oops. 15 minutes over time.
Yeah. I'm sleepies.
Do we hit the stop button or do we push through? This 7 or this 3. If I make this the 5, then horizontally it has to be a 7 and a 3. A 1, well, it will be 1, 9. Around the 7, it has to be 8 more, which is 2, 6, and 4, 8. Doesn't really overlap with this. And if I do the other version, a 5, 7 and 3, 1, 9. Around 7 is 2, 6. Around 3 is 4, 8. So this is either 3, 4, 8 or 1, 5, 9. That's not enough here. 3, 4, 8 or 1, 5, 9. 2, 7, 6. 4, 9. 3, 5. 5, 8. It's not really going to impact here. I don't know. Alright. Push through or hit the stop button.
Pudding. My brain is pudding.
Okay, we'll stop there then. Alright. Almost got through this puzzle. We'll figure it out next time. See if...
Next week.
Yep. On
Did you say
Tuesday.
you had something next week?
I do. So it'll be on Tuesday next week. copy that link into puzzle. Or not puzzle, the description there. Alright. With that, close out of this. Switch over to the talking screen. And I want to thank everyone for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All of that fancy YouTube engagement stuff. If you want to see more content on this channel, there is cooperative gaming happening on Saturday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. I promise I will eventually get back to Final Fantasy VI one of these days. Aside from that, there is always Sudoku, usually Mondays and Tuesdays. It will only be Tuesday next week. But otherwise, it's usually Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, aside from when I have events that overlap. I am unfortunately incredibly busy. Outside of that, if you have suggestions for games you'd like to see me play, puzzles you'd like me to solve, that is where the comment section goes. I don't think you can put links, and I'm not planning on changing that. But otherwise, you can put descriptions that lead to a puzzle with appropriate googling, or games or whatever. Aside from that, I am going to hop off. So, again, thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.